Governance, risk, and compliance, or GRC, are the measures and methods we put in place to protect our organization and its people. And while some of the GRC protections only require a one-time configuration, others need constant attention and might be automated. Let's look at how InvGate can help. Hi, Matt Barron, Product Specialist at InvGate. With InvGate Service Desk and InvGate Insight, you can set up controls, manage risk, and create workflows to support modern governance objectives. Before we get started, you can always grab a trial instance of our software at try.invgate.com and follow along, and you'll find a link in the description below. To start, InvGate Insight has the proper tools to document business continuity and deliver disaster recovery support. For instance, you can automate asset discovery to scan your networks periodically and be alerted of unwanted hardware and software. In addition, you can also automate reporting so that you can receive in your inbox insights to ensure compliance. And in order to ensure business continuity, I would suggest mapping your infrastructure and devices required for each of your business critical services into our Configuration Management Database, or CMDB. In doing so, you can also identify ongoing updates and destructive changes to these critical components. Here, for example, I have the Business Intelligence Business Service, and I can see under the Activity tab all the changes that are happening to all the devices that are involved in this service. I can also go to the Requests tab and see any active changes or tickets against the individual components or CIs within this service. The CMDB can also be used to visualize data and systems that need to be protected. For instance, you could identify which system houses personal and sensitive data and then associate contracts and best practices to those systems. This includes legal and ethical requirements, and these legal requirements and policies can be stored right on any asset. I should also mention that tags are super useful for indicating systems that require these types of protections. For instance, I can go up here and just search for tags, and then choose my PCI compliance tag to see the assets that need to be PCI compliant specifically. Now, the CMDB is very powerful. You can create any type of asset and put it in here. This is great not only for understanding and visualizing your physical assets, but also for non-physical assets. For example, you could enter in one of your corporate goals, like PCI compliance, for example, and map that specific goal to the individual devices that are in your network. This helps you understand how IT aligns to your business priorities. So for instance, PCI compliance here is impacting the POS system at Store 1, as well as the credit card machine at Store 1. You could use this for any number of examples. You could enter in your corporate goals, your investments and priorities and resources, and align your organization. So, if you've got a corporate goal to build a more sustainable technology stack, you could use the CMDB to visualize the components that either require attention, meet the standards, or use it to work through your specific objectives however you need to. Another key aspect of GRC is to perform periodic internal audits to ensure that you're in compliance with software licenses. If you associate the contracts to the corresponding assets and software installs across your network, the InvGate Insight Software Compliance module quickly displays where you are under-licensed, but also where you are over-licensed to save you some cash. So for instance, I can see specifically I've got 15 users who don't really use TeamViewer a lot, and I've got 7 extra licenses I'm not even using. This could save me almost 42 grand every year. And if I switch to the software name view, I can see under 7-zip that I've got 29 users who are unlicensed. And so I can actually recover those licenses and give those users licenses by simply paying $667. Totally worth it for peace of mind with an audit. On the same vein as audits, you can perform some risk automations to label non-compliant software with InvGate Insight's Smart Tags. With Smart Tags, you can create a category of non-compliant software, list some illegal applications, and be automatically alerted when a device installs that software in your network. So for instance, I've got this unapproved software installation Smart Tag here that's basically going to tag any machine that has software installed on it that's named Steam or Valorant. These are two popular gaming platforms, and I'm gonna know as soon as they get installed. Or you could tailor asset health rules at your company to regulations and flag devices when, for example, the antivirus or firewall is deactivated. InvGate Insight also maintains security of your assets through our latest beta feature, Software Deployment. This beta feature gives IT teams access to specific things like locking USB ports or running remote scripts on Windows devices to ensure security. Up to here, this is everything that you can do with InvGate Insight alone. But we all know that GRC isn't just about protecting your assets and your infrastructure. If you combine Insight with InvGate Service Desk, we can also help with the operational aspects of a robust GRC program. Now, I think it goes without saying, but InvGate Service Desk can provide incident management and response, which is a common need for GRC programs. And on top of that, Service Desk also makes it easy for employees to capture and upload pictures or documentation as soon as they identify risks, including attacks, breaches, system failures, alerting and monitoring, or just regular old human reporting of phishing attempts or other safety concerns. Here's a request I have set up for hazards in the workplace, where I can enter in specific hazards that I notice, like blocking the hallway, or doors being blocked, or poor parking in front of safety zones. And you can see a custom form here to capture the location description, and I'm encouraging users to upload a picture. Once captured, these records make it easy for teams to track the work using either predefined workflows or to go off script and do whatever is needed. So I can add in a task here to clean up the oil spill on the shop floor. And maybe I need a specific person to do that. Like maybe Fede is going to do that. And then we also need to make sure that we repair the device that leaked the oil. So you can see, hopefully, how this would actually help your team structure their work and be able to learn from that structure to then make this automated so that we have incident response, the subtasks, and everything that we need pre-built so we don't have to think and we can just be compliant. And you can also use InvGate Service Desk to automate GRC workflows. For instance, you can create one to perform IT change management. We have a video to show you how it's done, but in a nutshell, change management provides the guardrails to document your changes to your infrastructure and technology. For this reason, this process and documentation of adherence are commonly required for basic IT audits. Here you can see an example of a change management workflow that captures just that specific need. All changes being approved, scheduled, and reviewed as part of a good change management practice. And it's important to mention that the platform has robust features to protect personal and sensitive information within itself. For example, this onboarding workflow asks for social security numbers in the form here. So I've got an ask for people to enter in a social security number, but what's great is that HR owns this workflow, so they are the only people who can see this data. Lastly, InvGate Service Desk is easy to administer, So no matter what your GRC constraints are, they can be built into the system itself. This helps teams develop, support, and enforce control on your processes. And you can do it on your own terms and at your own pace. There's no need to wait for a platform team or application developers to build and support the changes that you need. And these are just some of the aspects of InvGate Insight and InvGate Service Desk that are designed to make IT teams gain control over their assets, data, and ultimately meet their GRC goals. For more on this topic, subscribe to our YouTube channel or discover our solutions by signing up for a trial at try.invgate.com. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again soon.